Do you want to turn it this way?
Weird.
Up. We got it. There we go. Like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was showing the other way. It doesn't flip for some reason.
Okay. Hopefully I don't have a cough spasm while we're doing this.
Oh, we will.
Right?
Damn. Don't be choking on your words now.
All right. For sure.
Okay, we are live, so
Okay.
we can start if you want.
We can go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to How Do You Spirit? And I have Barb and Taco with me today, and we are going to have so much fun today.
Oh, yeah.
We can't wait to get this started. But first, I have to show everybody again. We have our shirts.
And look how good these are.
They're so cute.
Oh, they are adorable.
Yes. So they are going to be available for purchase on the website, howdoyouspirit.com. We haven't released the link on the website yet, but if you're interested in one, please go and just send us a message and we'll be happy to get one to you. So today we're going to be talking about fun stuff. Current events, maybe. We've got our little tinfoil transmitter
theory hats on.
hats on. And what do you want to go into the alien stuff first and the drone
So we're
things?
if you guys think of a worldly event or something you see going on,
Yes.
send us a question. We'll
Yep.
be happy to talk about it. But we're going to talk about what's kind of happening. We're going to be talking about the good, bads, and uglies, upside downs and backwards, and maybe how to navigate through it.
Yes, that's
So
great.
we thought we'd hit on the drones and all that first.
Yeah, the conspiracy theory. Well, I don't know because I did capture,
conspiracy,
right?
real life.
Well, why don't you tell? Let's start with that. You tell that
So,
story.
yes, on Christmas night, I happened to look out. Barb's losing her hat.
Losing my head.
Keep your hat on there, Barb. We don't need no interference.
Right? I went outside and I just happened to look up in the sky, and to the west of my home, I saw a bright light, super bright light, but looked like it was very far away. And I thought, what's that? And we have planes that go over the flight
yes.
path, and we had them going on the east side, moving through, and I'm like, okay, this is not a plane. And I sat and watched it, and it did not move. It literally just stayed in the sky. So I got my phone out, and I did record a couple little videos and took pictures. But when you would zoom in on those pictures, you could see the light moving around like the little ball,
like a
the
little
little orb.
Yeah.
And then in a couple of the still pictures I took, there was other smaller lights around. And it stayed out in the sky, I'm going to say, for a couple hours because I kept having to go out and look. So, yes, I captured some footage. We'll have to share that on the social media.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, we've got a lot of people that, obviously have been catching the drones and stuff on. And also, we've had more, more aliens and spaceships and all of that being captured lately, recently.
A lot of activity.
Yeah, a lot of activity, and it is because of the shift that's happening.
Okay.
So, literally, we've got these very evolved beings that are coming to fix what us fucktards broke.
They're coming to save us.
They are coming to save us.
Yeah.
And so it isn't anything to fear. It's not. What's fearful is people react off fear.
Yep.
So if you're going to start shooting at them and trying to kill them, and they're like, hey, motherfucker, we are trying to save your ass.
Right.
And probably think twice about it because, I think people have gotten into a habit of attacking first and asking questions later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't we flip that around, you guys?
Yeah.
You really, if you're going to fear it, anything you put energy into, you will bring to life.
Yep.
And so if you're going to fear it, you literally will create that
A reason
reality.
to fear.
Yeah.
You will. And most of the time, it's kind of like when you walk in a room, you're like trying so hard to be quiet. And I swear to God, you're the noisiest you've ever been. It's the same thing. You're sitting there fearing and preparing for it. Well, then you're making big mistakes. That's creating exactly what you're fearing.
Yeah.
So could you imagine if this world got to a point and people came together and actually flipped the script and started putting more energy into that positive versus that negative? Can you imagine how free we would all be?
It would be
world would
amazing.
How
change
beautiful. I
in
mean,
a moment.
seriously.
Yes.
When you're in a great mood, your energy's got to be energy, right?
Yep.
So when you're in a great mood and you're walking in, you're looking hot, you're like strutting your stuff, like it ain't nobody gonna bring you down. You're like, I am the fucking shit, Everybody wants to be a part of that. So I don't understand why we can't grasp a hold of the fact that, like, why wouldn't you want that?
Yeah.
Yep.
When you fear things, the two ways to be controlled is fear and power, right?
Yep.
You gain power by usually money, right?
Yeah.
And so if
Unfortunately.
you got to decide, are you going to be who you are and be that unique, beautiful soul? Or are you going to be a sheep and follow the rest of them into the slaughter kind of thing?
Yeah.
And so, yes, we are definitely going to have a lot of contact happening. We're going to have a lot of that being shared, which is neat. So it's not obviously the first time we've had contact. My mom lived down in Fredonia, Arizona, which is right across the Arizona-Utah border by Kanab. And it was like
A hot spot.
I mean, seriously, like the stars looked like you could reach out and grab them. It was so beautiful. But it was interesting because I'm all looking at all these spaceships happening.
This ain't nothing new to you.
Well, what's interesting is how it wasn't new to anybody there. I was the only one going, oh my God,
Yeah.
can you look at what's...
Yeah.
And they're
They're
looking at you like, dumbass, it's been here all along,
Yeah.
And so, what I like is how much we really are seeking the truth. I really think all of us are trying to find the truth, but the way we're going about it is having serious consequences and not in a good way. And so, this shift that we're going through, we truly are being handed full power and control to create the reality we want to be in. And this is why we have so many people like on different levels. Like, have you noticed people that almost seem like they're in a trance?
Yes.
They're like on a whole different level, and you're like,
You wonder if anybody's in there.
Yeah.
almost like they're being mind controlled.
They
or
look at you
something.
blank.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
nobody's home.
Yep, exactly. They don't see what's around them. They're not engaging. They're literally kind of zombies.
And you can see it kind of pass over their face when you say something they don't want to hear.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just goes, "Ooh," and all of a sudden they're in that robot mode or whatever it is.
The zombie mode.
That zombie mode.
It is so sad how we've made bullying and degrading people a normality.
Yeah, it is very
this
sad.
divided that we've become. I mean, I remember not too long ago when I could be believe in something, you could believe in a different one, but we still could be friends,
Right.
even though we had a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
It's kind of like doing readings, right? I might see things or explain things different than what you see and
Right.
do, but at the end of the day, it takes you to the same destination,
Yep.
the same conclusion,
Same place.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so just
different
because
paths.
just because you see it differently, just because you explain it differently doesn't mean you're wrong.
Right.
It doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean that person, just because they have a different belief or they're in a different religion or they live a different kind of life than you, doesn't mean that you need to attack that person. You might want to get to know that person because we're down here to experience. And the more you can allow life and engage in life and be a part of life, the more fulfilling it's going to be for you. But the more you hide and retreat, like what we're all doing, the more dangerous this is going to be.
Yeah.
That makes sense totally. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can feel you can see the negative energy that's happening on the planet. And, this is why we're having so many mass shootings. This is why we're having so many really
People
sad
going off the wall.
people killing their family and themselves. This is why there's such a deep hopelessness.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't have to be this way. It
Right.
doesn't. You know, like I say all the time, one smile, hey, nice shoes, nice smile, nice hat, can
Change
change
someone's
someone's
life.
whole life. That one baby kind act that doesn't take you even half a second, it doesn't cost you a damn thing, can absolutely change a person's life.
Well, I have to share with everyone, my word for 2025 is love.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I am going to love myself 100% all the time. And I am going to send love to everybody, regardless if they make me angry, upset, whatever. Nope. They get the love too.
Well, there is never
That's really
never
nice.
a negative, a positive doesn't override. Ever.
Yep.
Ever. And we are all getting so hyped up on a lot of misinformation that's going on out there. This is why social media is
Struggling.
and this is why we're gonna have a lot of maybe rules and regulations to understand that this is creating now a negative impact versus a positive impact, like what we could be using it for. But this is also why we're having the extraterrestrial kind of like experiences, because they're coming down to show us what the hell this is all about. And on top of that, I've seen very clearly in my readings that we are going to be tapping, and I see a new energy only because this energy has been used before.
Oh.
It's been used to build the pyramids.
Okay,
It's been used to create air, life, water. It was literally the kind of energy that helped created the world, the planet.
Wow.
And so it is going to be an energy a new source of energy. And they showed me that it was pockets. Like the Bermuda Triangle, that's what it kind of reminded me of.
Yes.
It's these places that have these really unexplainable, unique, what the fucker is that, right? That are actually going to open back up this energy source that was once used a long time ago. So
That's incredible.
this kind of shift has happened before.
Okay.
What hasn't happened is how it evolves into more of our training grounds, kind of like our graduation, right? So we are actually trying to become a all-around known source, which creates more us to be able to create the kind of world we live in, the kind of family we want, the kind of we'll say race, species that we want to become. Which is why we do have like the fairies and the witches and the dragons and all of the things.
Yeah.
We will be able to create that, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what this planet is actually going to become. It's going to become now a place where we're going to find out how much we've learned, and we're going to find out what kind of reality and what kind of world we actually would create, right?
So we were talking earlier, all of us chatting, and choose wisely, right?
You got to choose
Yeah.
wisely, because
What
anything
you
you put
focus on.
energy
Yep.
into, you bring to life.
Be very
And
careful.
So if you're going to get caught up in all of this fear and hyped up in all of this black or white versus there's a gray, right? And being the right fighters and choosing to be angry and choosing that if your way is the only way and all the things, right? You're going to live a very lonely, sad, unbearable life, which unfortunately is kind of what's happening with people that are not on the right vibration.
Yeah.
But this is, you can tell there's so many different levels to this, because people are literally on different levels, and it's like trying to find people that are on the same kind of playing field, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not all going to be as evolved as one another,
Right.
right? But we are all going to have a good foundation to work with if you don't allow yourself to get sucked into this deep mass darkness that is going to be really
Right. So we were talking
That-
earlier, and I was telling Taco, I have a friend that kind of feeds me a lot of information that sometimes it's positive, but mostly it's negative.
Mm-hmm.
And that with that, I feel there's a really strong responsibility of what you do with that information,
Yeah.
because you can't always ignore it.
no.
So
It's
true.
like it catches your attention. It's going to draw you into an extent.
Mm-hmm.
If you're smart, you'll keep your emotions back and just be
Yes.
an observer to that situation.
Mm-hmm.
But also, there's a lot of benefit into having something like that cross your path if you're responsible enough to send positive energy into that
it.
situation.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that people need to keep in mind that anything in extreme is a bad thing.
Right.
Anything. If you can take the extreme right and
ends
the
tip.
extreme left, and you can bring it back into the middle,
Yeah.
you'll see the truth in anything. And so a lot of the misinformation that's happening that is just really far out there, people are giving it a lot of energy. Why? Because that is what nightmares are made of, right?
That's emotions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we are conditioned
Yeah.
to give that fear, that negative. We're conditioned from the day we come out of our mama's vagina kind
Yep.
of thing to give that energy. And why? So that we can all be sheep and follow and do what we're told to follow and do.
Yeah.
Right? And so you've got to be careful, because you're taking, and this is where social media, unfortunately, has been such a good bad thing,
Mm-hmm.
because there's enough truth that you're going, oh wow,
Draws you in.
wow, that
Yep.
is like, really, I cannot believe that would happen. But they've spin it into a narrative that or turned it into something that was completely opposite of what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, we are desensitizing ourselves and our children to where these kids, I mean,
There's
think
no
about
shock
all of
value.
the think about all the video games and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
I know people
They're
sit there and go,
horrible.
oh,
Yeah.
well, they know that it's fake. No, they
No,
don't.
they don't.
Yeah.
No, they don't. And when you're desensitized to it and you're sitting there driving a car and murdering everybody, it's not going to be that big of a shock value if you actually do that.
Yeah.
You
That
know,
makes so much
you
sense.
got to be careful. You got to be aware. That doesn't
Mhm.
mean you got to fear it,
Right.
but you got to be aware that, hey, this is actually happening. Whether you want to agree with that or not, it's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you can look back on what has happened to where this started to go real south,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to find the problem,
Right.
right? But it's not that this much negative hasn't ever happened before. This has happened. And it's happened actually barbarically for many, 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 many generations, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they used to like
We're
the,
in a
the-
cycle.
yeah,
See
the
how
entertainment
far
used
we
to be
get.
hanging
Yep.
somebody, you know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
was like, the crowd was all about it. Let them go, hang them, you know?
Look at Rome with the gladiators.
Exactly. I mean, or you get
Right.
thrown into the arena and let
Yeah.
the tigers tear them apart.
Yeah.
That's good shit, you know? So it's not like this hasn't happened before.
Uh-huh.
This is just a mass reset. And the planet has got to have time to heal. And so again, like in the Bible, when it talks about in Revelations how we all die and then Christ comes back, he resurrects the righteous, and we live 1,000 years of peace on earth.
Yes.
There's a lot of truth in that, but how it came about and how they're wording it isn't necessarily true. It is not a physical death. It's the death of the old ways. It's the death of the lower vibration. That this planet we've done, because we're kind of kindergartners. We destroyed shit, all right? We have. And Mama Earth's like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. And so
I'm done playing.
yeah, we're out. We're done. You guys are grounded. And so, yes, there will be a lot of us that are put down for a nap.
Yeah.
But there's also going to be a lot of us that are part of rebuilding
Yes.
and helping this to become
Positive.
alive again
Yeah.
and perfect and beautiful. And if you can just put your energy into that. I mean, look at what's happening because we're putting our energy into what we're fearing.
It's
Yeah.
ugly.
We're literally going, oh, I knew that would happen because I was afraid of that. So that, it's going to happen. I was afraid the stock market was going to bust, so I quit spending money.
Yep. Hello.
That's a good way to make sure that don't happen.
So for people that, feed into that fear and that negativity, how would you two suggest that somebody try not to pay attention to that or to get themselves out of that? Like you were just talking a minute ago about,
being an observer.
Yes.
Being at love.
How can somebody really try because it's hard, right?
It can
Especially, I have come across people that they feed on.
Yeah.
We feed off,
Yeah.
So how do we start to get out of that, to feel like, to believe that, okay, I really don't need to have, believe in this fear and this, all that stuff.
I'll let you start, Barb.
Well, like I was saying earlier, for me, it's about keeping your own emotions out of the game, because once you get sucked into it emotionally,
you're done.
You're done. You can't then step back and be neutral. But if you can stay neutral and be aware of things enough that you can send love to that situation,
yes,
you're sending an opposite energy than what it needs to stay in power,
to survive.
So you're going to feed it one thing or the other. Do you want to feed it the good stuff so that the good grows, or do you want to feed it more of the fear so that the bad grows?
Yeah.
So for me, it's just, you've got to be more responsible with your energy, because people who are not controlling their emotions and their energy fields, they're leaving behind them this chaotic negativity that other people can step into, and empaths absorb that.
Oh, yes.
And they go home and they're all feeling anxious and something's wrong with them. And, it's like you have to be consciously aware of how your energy impacts everyone else.
Perfect.
Well, and if you can start, so again, the two ways to connect yourself to your highest spiritual vibration is laughter and sex, which is why most spiritually evolved people are funny horn dogs, right? So if you're faced in a situation where you can choose to join the party and really fall into that fear, then, it is a choice. Happiness really is a choice.
It's so true.
And so is darkness. Darkness really is a choice. And we all have this little truth meter in us. No matter how good of liars we are, we all have this little meter. It's like, I can't fucking lying. Right? And so, one, pay attention to your intuition.
Yes.
You guys, your intuition, that gut feeling is on point every fucking time.
Every time.
Pay attention. This is what we all were born with. There ain't a damn one of us that don't have that in us. Right? And if you're still falling into that fear and you're getting a lot of panic attacks, because I hear about that all the time right now. People are really struggling with their energy stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's because we have such a hard shift going on.
Yep.
And so literally you're going to feel... Have any of you noticed this? You're going to feel your body vibrating.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I actually thought we had a little earthquake the other day. I'm laying in bed. And all of a sudden the bed's like, and I'm like, okay, was that an earthquake? And then I thought, no, maybe it was my dog itching. No, it was me. I was like, and it was kind of funny. I started laughing. The minute I start laughing, I get out of that.
Yeah.
You start laughing. Just laugh it off, man. I mean,
whip you right out.
Hey, even psychos laugh. I mean, think about all the movies. They start laughing when they're like,
right?
Laughter is the quickest trigger.
Laughter,
to turn
if
it around.
you start to laugh, you're going to absolutely lighten that up. That ball of negativity that you're getting sucked into will dissipate quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly.
So laugh, people.
Laugh it off. Laugh it off.
Laugh and laugh. Yes, that's awesome. So we talked a little bit about the social media, but how that, do you two feel like that it's going to kind of come become less, or do you feel like there's going to be a change? Or see, I feel like that people are going to get tired of it, and just because it doesn't feel real. I mean, we've all witnessed
social media, first off, has been a big part of why we're divided.
Yeah.
Think about it. You don't know how to go and make friends anymore. Right? You don't know how to go and socialize anymore. Relationships are kind of a thing of the past at this point, because you've got a million people you can choose from on a dating app, right? Yeah. Right? I mean, for real. You know, that's an awful lot of damn frogs you're going to have to kiss in order to finally find one that wants to stick around. Right. And where it's overwhelming, where I hear men and women saying, I don't even want to. I don't even want to.
I heard that a lot.
I mean, I remember as a kid, I'd go ride my horse around. I talked to everybody, had a good damn time, and I had a bunch of friends, and it was like no big deal. Now we all are so either in our phone or thinking about how we can get home and how we're going to watch TV that we don't talk with one another. Yeah. We don't have conversation. Yeah. Me and my friend that lives in Holland, we were talking about this, and I'm like, I've been her friend. We've been friends for 30 years. It is so sad to me because I look at like my daughter, I look at my grandson, and I think you'll never get to experience that beautiful gift where you find someone that you just connect with, and it don't matter. It does not matter if you haven't seen them for 30 years. You just pick up right where you left off and have a good time. They won't experience that. That's so true. And it's because they're choosing that.
Connections,
yeah. They don't know how to connect. People are disconnected, which again is the most dangerous thing we can do.
That's part of the problem.
It is the most dangerous thing because we're all divided. Yeah. United, we will be able to conquer anything. Yes. Divided, we're fucked. Yeah. And that's just the truth of it. And this is also why so much of the fear is getting out there. There's a narrative that is being pushed, you guys. Quit falling for it. Right. Quit falling for it. Yeah. It's kind of like, I've seen a lot of different videos that they're saying, we got all these drones all of a sudden just in the sky automatically, right? Why would they want you to be looking up?
Distraction.
Right. Yeah. Again, we're all like putting our focus on what's so blatantly there when really we need to be looking behind the scenes. So if you really want to get into the conspiracy theory, look behind what's obvious.
Yeah. What are they not saying?
What are they not saying? Why are they putting a distraction? Yeah. What the hell going on?
What they're doing over here while we're looking up here,
absolutely. Right? And we fall for it every time.
Yes.
I think people are getting smarter because I do see people coming out and saying things that go against like an official narrative, and they're starting to question things, and I'm like, wow, where was this questioning 20 years ago, 30 years ago? Why were people not saying the same stuff?
Yeah, they're just accepting what is.
They just accept, deny your eyes and accept what we tell you. And I think people are coming out of that.
Well, they have to, because again, you are going to create the reality you live in. So this kind of is, in a way, the finale. This is going to be the last year that it is so so extreme. And if you're not on the right vibration, you won't make it. And again, if you're not on the right vibration, people that are going to struggle the most are people that are suffering with mental illness, people that don't want to have any sense of spiritual involvement or any sense of getting themselves a fucking life. Let's just be honest, right? So if you're part of that club, see ya. You're not gonna make it, But there are going to be the ones that do, and that good is gonna override. I'm not kidding you guys. I promise you, this is gonna be a rough year. It can be intense and scary, but I really think that because there's so many of us that are waking up, and because we're getting help from our friends that are coming on down.
I do feel kind of a light presence You know, I mean, there's just something that you can feel.
Yeah. Something
Yeah.
different, huh?
Something,
An excitement.
something
Yeah.
hopeful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just told
An
you that the
excitement.
other day.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
told Taco, I said, I just feel like big things are coming. And I told her, I said, I feel excitement energy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
keep thinking
And I
I'm
feel
like
hopeful.
on the sidelines.
Yes.
I'm like at a parade, just eating popcorn, watching the show. Yeah, I will get called to duty after this, but this year is going to be intense. It is going to look like shit's going to hit the fan, but
Mhm.
I really think because so many of us are waking up, and there's so many of us that are aware that's what's going on, especially our younger peeps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our younger generation,
Have hope.
you know, they
Yep.
actually are a little bit smart. A little bit, a lot. They actually are. And they are the ones that actually are going to be telling us to calm the fuck down.
Right.
Quit thinking you got to blow everything up, including yourself.
Like, people
And
chill
yeah,
out.
chill the fuck out. And like, y'all just calm down. And let's talk. And that is because we have been gearing up for this shit to happen. And so we have those more evolved souls coming down.
Do you think maybe because the younger people are more like that, do you think it's because they're more connected still?
1,000,000%.
Okay. That's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah.
Absolutely. Which is why they always look at us like we're stupid. They do. They're just like, oh my gosh,
Which
you
is
guys.
why society has tried to medicate them and dumb them down.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
Didn't think about that one.
No,
either.
it's true.
It's because they come in so high vibrational.
You're like,
and-
nope, we got to turn that little kid
Yep.
down a little bit.
Yep.
Wow. That's
So they're
that
really
makes
Well,
so
and
much
they
sense,
also
huh?
put so much crap in our food.
Yeah.
And so much crap in the food that was going to be our food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in our animals, in our grains,
Oh,
in
yeah.
our
Yep.
fruits, our vegetables.
It's true.
There is so much shit that is going on in that. This is why cancer is a big problem.
Yeah.
But even with all of the, we'll just say poisoning that's happening.
Yes.
Right? The thing is unless you let your vibration get that low
Mm-hmm.
and you've allowed yourself to destroy yourself because, you know, you made a bad remark to your grandma or something, whatever you might be holding on to. All health issues start emotionally first.
Yep.
So those bigger diseases will only activate if you've gone through like a really hard space where you've let your energy feel down that low
Mm-hmm.
to where you're kind of pushing the beam me up button,
Yeah.
and that's when that kind of stuff will happen. And so,
which is another reason why we're constantly pumped fear.
yeah,
Because they want us in a low vibe.
absolutely,
Yeah.
Diseases feed off of that.
Yeah.
They feed off
Yeah.
of that. And so we can be eating the trash all day long, but it won't affect us in the way that
It's meant
the
to.
negativity will
Unless
affect
we-
us.
yeah.
And we are. I mean, look at all the pharmaceuticals you got. You take one pill that is going to give you all these side effects. So you've got 30 pills to cover all the side effects that the one pill was trying to cure it.
Right.
Make
Take
that
a
make
pill,
sense.
and then you got to take another pill to counteract it.
Yeah, it's
And then there's that
insane.
pill to counteract that. These two.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah.
But what I love is we all are on that edge
Uh-huh.
where we have to make this change. I don't think people are going to accept that this can't happen anymore. I don't think people are going to accept the lies. I don't think people are going to accept the way that we have accepted before, where it's like they're trying to
We know it's corrupt, but we don't do anything about
yeah,
it.
you're right. Absolutely. I think when we have certain leaders that don't follow through with what was promised,
People are gonna be done.
People are going to be done, and I don't blame. People are already done.
They're already at the
They're
end.
already done. They are, and people. The most dangerous thing you can have is someone that don't have nothing left to lose.
Yeah.
True.
Very true.
You know, when everything starts and it is getting to a point where you can't afford to live, you
Mhm.
can't afford to eat, you can't afford to go do anything other than work,
Yeah.
you can't afford any sort of joy in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because people don't get creative anymore and just go swing on the swings and playgrounds, you know?
So true.
Or go for a hike up in the mountains. People always associate fun with money.
Yep.
Trust me, I've been broke my whole life, and I'm fine with that. And I know how to have a lot of fun. It don't cost a damn thing, right? And so you got to get creative. But when people they can't provide for the family.
Mm-hmm.
They know they ain't got enough left in them to work more.
Another job,
and
right?
they can't afford to eat, sleep, drink,
hopeless.
none of that. You know, that is the most dangerous thing you can have.
Yeah.
And
That's where they're driving people, though.
well, that's where we're at.
Yes.
Not driving, we're there.
Yeah,
we're
We're there.
Yeah.
And so again, laugh, raise that vibration. There's always a way around it. There really is, you guys. You just gotta get creative.
Mm-hmm.
Get creative. And being creative doesn't mean you have to take you and your family out. Being creative means you can go and find a book and read a damn story, and you can read it out loud. My mom, when we were as a kid, was one of my favorite memories of my mom. And our lights had gotten shut off. And so we're cold. It was wintertime. And she made us some hoagie sandwiches, which was a treat for us. And she sat down, and with the candles going, she read this book called Charlie's Monument, which is the most amazing book ever. It's about this kid he was born with only one arm. And anyway, the town hires him because he was the one that would spot if there was a wolf coming to take the sheep and stuff. And he started every day pushing this rock with only one arm, pushing this rock up this hill that he'd go sit and watch the town over. Anyway, it was such a beautiful book. That was my favorite memory of my mom.
Wow.
And it didn't cost us a damn thing.
Right.
It didn't, and it made us, having no power, it made it fun.
Yeah.
I remember wishing that it would happen again. Absolutely. We were all huddled under a blanket because it was cold, and she made it fun. We can do things like that, you guys.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to cost you anything.
Right.
And
Or
just
look a
because
certain way.
something might happen like that. So let's say you can't afford your power bill. That it's okay. You know, if we were all united, it wouldn't be a problem because we can all help one another. You know,
The barn raisings that people used to do, that kind of thing, where you pitched
absolutely. You pitch
Mhm.
in. You know, what I don't have, you got. You know, there was that story about them making a soup, right? It was stone
the
soup.
stone soup. Yeah.
Stone soup. You know, and things like that. You know, it can get to that point.
Yeah.
If you want to keep feeding into this fear and you want to keep feeding into these lies and you don't want to allow yourself to grow and build your army, because when you have an army around you, you have your people around you, there ain't anything that can conquer you.
Yes.
I know if I wouldn't have had the people that I had, I wouldn't be who I am.
Oh,
Same.
yeah, absolutely. Right?
I've had more miracles from people bringing that to me than I can count.
Yep.
And I know that I've helped more people than I can count.
Yeah.
That's what we're
That's
here
what
to
it's
do.
about.
That's what spirituality really is.
Yes.
And that's what we've forgotten collectively.
100%.
That we're here
Yes.
for each other.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So it won't matter what's taken from us if we come together.
Mm-hmm.
Because it won't be taken from us if we come together.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions? Just wanted to check.
Not yet.
Okay. Just wanted to check. Yeah, it's been it's becoming a very interesting time.
Mm-hmm.
We were again talking earlier, and I was feeling like I think we've got the bomb coming before the
The
glory.
worst hasn't hit yet. Is that what
Yes,
you're saying?
yes. So when do you feel like that things might start calming down? Like,
So
when's this all coming to a head? Basically.
this year
March
is going.
25th.
Okay.
This year,
There's a random date.
right.
this year is going to be a very interesting year. It's going to have every component to make a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First off, this shift, what I like. So let's talk about the good things. Okay?
Yes.
And I'm going to start, and then you go, and then you go.
Okay.
Okay. Thing that I love about this shift is that love is going to be a big thing again. It's going to be the driving force.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna love?
So when you were talking about your word for the year,
Yep.
when I was tapping into that on January 1st, I was like, okay, what's the feel for this year? And my feeling was smooth sailing. So smooth sailing, but we have to get into the part that's smooth.
Right.
And that's going to be a little bit of a bumpy ride. But if we have patience through the bumpiness, through the waves that are hitting the shore,
Yeah.
we'll be out where it's smooth sailing.
Yes.
So that's my belief, is that, yes, we're going to experience some of that leftover rough energy from last year because it didn't close down with the end of the year.
Yep.
Felt to me like it bled over. And so we still may see some disastrous things ahead, but it's not going to consume the whole year. We're going to, if we have patience and perseverance, we're going to get out past those rough waves and we'll get into smooth waters.
Yeah.
So the words that I heard was smooth sailing.
I'm basically on the same lines as Barb, but I'm seeing more the after as opposed to what's the before.
Right.
But I feel like that. I just feel like people are going to start coming together as a collective.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I.
And
Is it
once
now?
we do, things are going to start going really fast.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
feel a speed to it too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
once things start going in a good direction, it's just going to snowball.
Yeah.
So
Well, and so now we're gonna hit the hard things.
Okay.
that first little bit.
Bye. I've seen that, and I see timelines and seasons, and I know that it's going to be in the time where everything's full in bloom, and that is where I see it becoming a shit show, quite literally. That's where people are going to finally fall off the ledge.
Yeah.
If they're falling, they're gone.
Yeah, and you know, I know that there's going to be a lot of rumors of war. I know that there's going to be a lot of attempts on creating war. And if people want to feed into that, it's going to be a bad time for them. But people that don't feed into that and more gather together and hold together, that's where the smooth sailing can come into play. So it truly will be your choice at how much you put into this. No matter what team you're on, though, we will all come together. That is not optional. That is going to happen.
Yep.
However, I don't see the breather room we're going to get not until, I'm going to see even late October, November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that it has to be all bad.
Right.
Right? We are going to have
It's just
more
transition.
We're going to have
Ups
more
and downs.
unaliving happening because people, again, that are on the wrong vibration, they literally are going insane, you guys. I mean, they're,
And
you know,
so they can opt out and
they-
come
yeah.
back and start over or whatever.
and so the thing is,
like
it's okay.
A reset.
If it was our animals, we'd never, ever, ever let them suffer the way we do our people.
Yeah.
Ever.
It's true.
And, you know, when people are, again, at that point where they ain't got nothing to lose, and like there was a shooting that happened, and the person that did it had left a thing saying that they didn't just think that just taking themselves out was good enough, so they wanted to make sure that they took a few other people out with them too.
Wow. That's
And
crazy.
that's the kind of thinking that happens, and it's because there's such a hopeless, energetic void energy that's going on, which is why I push and push and push and push, and I make it a point for myself to do it every day, is make sure that I tell people how beautiful they look. Tell people how
Connect
how
with them.
amazing smile they got. I mean, like, I got a big old team in that works at Maverick. That's just, we just all love each other. I feel like it's like, remember the show Cheers? I roar. I go, oh my God, it's me, you know, I roar, you know.
Yeah.
So it is so fun, and they all come up and give me a hug and shake my hand. There is
But it
no
feels
reason
so
not to do
good.
that. It does, and I let them all know how beautiful they look and how amazing they are, and how much I see how hard they work. Doesn't take me a damn thing to do that.
Nope.
It doesn't. And I can watch people go from being in that just mood, and it raises them back up.
Yeah.
So my prediction is we are going to have a lot of fear thrown at us.
Yeah. But
I don't think that the bomb's going to blow. I think it's going to just kind of out.
Yay!
Yep. So I remember doing a channeling like 10, 15 years ago. And I asked about, are we going to go into World War III? And my guides actually laughed. I could hear all this laughter. And they were like, oh, there'll be World War III, World War IV, World War V, World War VI, World War VII. But there'll never be another kinetic war where people are fighting and killing each other worldwide.
So do you think it's a lot of it might be like cyber stuff?
Cyber wars,
Yes,
financial
and that
wars,
started already.
information wars, the Cold War. I mean, yes, there's a lot of times when things are heightened and,
But again, it just
exaggerated.
fizzes. Yeah.
But there'll never be, they promise there will never be another world war where everyone is physically killing each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they called it a kinetic war. And so from that, I kind of looked at it like, okay, that's kind of funny because, we have had all of these situations where we're hearing about information wars, cyber wars, cyber attacks,
Yeah.
And so that may be the new way that contention is handled, but we'll never see another war where like what we experienced before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the promise. That's the promise.
Hey, tell me, what were we? I get all wrapped up in listening. Remind me of the question.
The bad
What's your
stuff.
prediction on the negative
Yes, the negative.
this year?
Okay. I feel like I said earlier, we haven't hit,
The bad part.
we haven't got to the real,
The gunk. Yeah.
the ending, the gunk. We still have
Yeah.
a lot of gunk and heavy to go through. But
Happy waves.
yes, and I feel like now though people are starting to question, and they're like,
Starting to think a little bit.
maybe using their heads a little more. But I don't think we've seen it yet. But I get like more into summer is kind of what I'm feeling before it really works its way out. The negativity.
I'm cool with it working its way out before the end of the year.
Yes,
Anytime
please.
before the end of the year. I want to be on a good path. I want it to be
Yeah.
a worldwide, global
Wouldn't
celebration
that be- yes.
of love and life and beauty and each other.
Well, in
that's
2026
my dream for the
is
end of
going
the year.
Yes.
to feel phenomenal
Yeah.
compared to what we've been going through.
Yeah, there's a lot of
And,
light
and
on
it
that
still
year.
won't reach its peak. It's not going to reach its peak in the good for about 10 years. So
Takes
it's
a
just
minute,
gonna be
right?
Like, it gets better. Kind of like what we've been doing over the last 10 years. We're like, I hope this year's better. Oh, it's not. I hope this year's better. Fuck, it's not. I hope this year's better. Oh, yeah, I know it's not going to get better.
So the numbers work for 2026.
So
Because that's a 10 year.
2026 is
Uh-huh.
where
It's a 10 year.
it makes the turnaround.
It's the
It starts to get
completion
better.
and the rebirth.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Awesome.
Absolutely.
that's
And
when the
our
rebirth.
years actually do not go January 1st, okay? Our years actually start March to March.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
From
it takes
spring
about
to
3,
winter.
well, spring, new life, new growth, makes sense, right?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
always seen it as April 1st.
Absolutely.
That's
So-
how astrology works.
Exactly. And that's the other thing that's so neat is we've got numerology, astrology. I mean, all of the spiritual
modalities,
stuff are like, all of us are saying the same thing, you guys.
That's true.
Yeah.
All of us are saying the same thing. So it's going to be phenomenal if you can just hang on and you can just kind of keep your head together. Don't jump into the extreme.
Right.
Again, come back to the middle and try and have fun. Try and have some fun.
Yeah.
And you'll make it through this no problem.
Laugh more.
Yes.
So yeah, it's interesting because part of what I feel is that if you're sad or fearful or whatever, then you sink down and your feet get stuck in this mucky goo.
Yes.
And you're walking in this mucky goo. But here's this highway of light, that's floating above it. And if you just were laughing at yourself and saying, why am I not up there? You could be up on this beautiful light-filled freeway, bypassing all of the yuck and muck that's down here. Why would you want to be wading through that if you don't have to, when it's all it takes is a shift of vibration, get up into your heart, and, I'd love to be up there. Okay, yar, and then you can just ride that. And that's where I feel the speed, the clarity, new information. It also feels like lots of new ideas. I feel new ideas up there. And everything's moving really fast. So for me, it feels like new inventions coming to light, new ways of living, better ways to farm, better ways to travel, better, all of that feels like it's up here on this super light highway, And so as a society, the sooner we can let go of the heavy, negative, yucky muck, and all of us get up here, oh my gosh.
Wouldn't that be so amazing?
Is
I just got the chills when you said that.
Yeah, it's just amazing because all of it is just sitting there waiting for us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. That's
well,
awesome.
I think we better wrap this up, Miss Lauren.
Okay. All right.
I have a question, though, really quick.
Okay.
Do any of you have any alien predictions about the next year?
This year we're going to have them connect in with us. It is not going to be I heard it from. No, it's literally going to be
we're here.
We're here. We're inviting you in. We're going to have conversations. There, it's not going to be the big secret no more. It is going to absolutely. We're going to. It's going to become a normality over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm excited, honestly.
But this year will become. It's kind of like they're coming out of the closet,
That's so funny.
And it's not going to be an excitement. But once again, that's going to be embraced, even though that's been going on for a long time. So pay attention to what's going on besides that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
If you really are looking for something, the truth in something, or what might be coming up, look behind what's being put in the spotlight.
Right.
Yeah.
Always.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah. What aren't you hearing?
Don't go extreme on it, for hell's sake.
Right.
We don't need to go complete. But, there's a lot of truth in these conspiracy things, because there's a lot of truth in it.
Yeah.
And there's so much distrust in our government and how it's ran and what's been going on.
Yeah.
And there should be. That shouldn't be new, you guys. It's been, going on a long time.
Right.
That has got to come to an end. And this is why we already have world leaders that are being cut out. They're being put out of the leadership role.
Yep.
That is going to happen. That is going to happen. But this will be a worldwide event.
Yes.
Wow.
So we're not just going to have them coming onto our soil going, hey, Americans, we got you. It's going to be happening
worldwide.
Okay. I didn't think about that.
I think here, too, your intuition is extremely important.
And heightened.
Yes, because just as some people are good people and some people are not good people, the same goes for any other entities anywhere else in the universe.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's good people and not good people or whatever. So I think the first story that may come out about contact, I feel like they might want to try to make it a negative one.
Yeah.
Because there's so much good that's going to come from that contact that I feel like they're going to try to bump the fear up first.
Yeah.
So
why wouldn't they?
I just say sit back, observe, use your intuition. Don't get too emotional.
I don't see it happening like that, and I hope I
hope it doesn't.
I don't think it will.
Hopefully not.
The only reason I say that is just because that has already happened.
Do you think?
I know so.
Yeah.
That has already happened, where it has been a negative. It has been everybody be fearful and all the things. So the only reason it would happen in the way, not that it would be putting out there in a negative light, where it's like, all right, you guys, we got this mass hysteria. That's already happening, y'all.
Okay.
We already got that going on.
So
Right?
it's probably
What it will do, though, is once this comes out, we're all going to be a little on the ledge, on the edge, going now what? But the hype of it is currently already happening.
yeah. It's going to depend on how people perceive it.
I
right?
think so too.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think you have to just step back and see how it feels.
Yeah.
Trust your intuition. I'm not ready to believe that those in power are going to not manipulate the situation, but
Right.
maybe I'm wrong.
No, that's already happening.
Yeah.
I know. That's what I say. As it
This is
increases, I feel like that manipulation will increase as well.
Yeah.
See, where I think that part is going to go is I think because this hype is already happening,
Right.
when that comes about, where it's going to be hey, we need to talk about it, that we'll just say the government's going to know that they better kind of put their arm around it and call it buddies, because I think people are so tired of the bullshit, they're not going to fall for it.
Yeah.
And it don't matter what side you're on. I really think people are just not going to fall for it anymore. We're just kind of past
They've
the
had enough.
fuckery.
Yeah. We don't want to be manipulated anymore.
So I agree with you, Barb. I do think that if they would, they might try.
Yeah.
But I also think they're already going to
People are
know.
gonna be
People
skeptical.
are already on the
Questioning. Yeah.
fart wrong, and we will take you out. They're already on the ledge.
So the message for today, everyone, is trust your intuition.
Absolutely.
Right?
Follow it. Trust it.
And whenever you're feeling anxious, start laughing.
Yes.
Just start. If you start having anxiety, start laughing. If you start having really bad, dark, deep thoughts, just start laughing.
That's
Just start
great
giving yourself,
advice.
even if it's the psycho laugh. Laugh.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. And
Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy
Happy
New
New
Year,
Year's.
right? It's going to be a good one.
Yes. Absolutely.
Entertaining.
Yeah,
It'll be an entertaining one.
It'll
Yeah,
be an
yeah.
entertaining year.
Please go to our YouTube channel at How Do You Spirit and give us a subscribe, and check us out on TikTok, Instagram, How Do You Spirit Facebook page, and the Lori Jewett How Do You Spirit Facebook page. And we will see you all soon, and thank you for joining us.
Bye.
That was a fun one.
I have some